the metaverse, what can we do? I actually don't think it's much, right? And it's difficult, and it's very high level. And at the first approximation is the first level of abstraction is, well, do we have the same rights digitally as we do in the physical world? Do we have a default right to privacy online? Do we have a default right to ownership online? Can you own something? Can you own a piece of art? Because to own it, you need that quote unquote non-custodial wallet. If it has to be held in custody by Coinbase or Kraken or Bitstamp or JP Morgan Chase, well, no, then we're saying we trust our citizens to own a piece of art in their living room, but we don't trust our citizens to own a piece of art on the internet. Which my view is that's an incorrect decision for society to make. In any case, my view is we need to have that discussion as a society. As the world becomes more digital, there needs to be a genuine discussion among policymakers and the people of what we think the right balance of power is between the state and its citizens in the digital world, noting that everything's a trade-off. Of course, fighting crime is easier when you don't have any rights. Of course. But we have decided in at least most constitutional democracies that fighting crime is very important, but it's not the only thing that matters. Because if it was the only thing that matters, then a cop could walk into your house anytime to just check to see what you're doing. And generally not. They've got to get a warrant. They've got to go to court. They've got to go through some process, right? Because you start off with the right. So the first level is the constitutional rights. The second level is, again, what I keep harassing everyone about, what I call freedom to transact, which it is a model of there needs to still exist some default allowed system of transactions. We still have one today. It's called cash. You are default allowed to pay someone with cash. Credit cards is not like that, right? The credit card goes for payment process and it says yes or no. A third party says yes or no to the transaction. But cash is not. If I take $20 and I give it to someone and buy a burger and a beer, there's no third party in that transaction. I believe we need to maintain a default allowed payment system. And I believe digitally, because I don't think the CBDCs, the right thing would have been for the CBDCs to become default permissionless, just like cash is. But I don't think they're going to do that. I've been having discussions with the Federal Reserve for a long time on this. I don't think they're going to do it. And so that means being allowed to hold crypto assets in your own wallet. I think that's what the choice is going to boil down to. And then the last thing, which is also part of my thesis, and the one that I think I can have the most influence on, is this metaverse with persistent digital objects needs a database to store those objects. And that database can be one or several big companies, or it can be a public blockchain. And if it's a public blockchain, we have a system to store an arbitrary digital object. It's called an NFT. And if people can own their NFTs, and then companies, organizations, governments build applications to use them, that's fantastic. Some of those applications can be large and centralized. That's also fantastic. But they should not control the database of record, because that database of record is a database for our world. And so to me, we're at a very interesting path in the road, or fork in the road. I think the decisions that are made in the 2020s over the next few years will determine what the architecture and ultimately the human rights architecture of our life will be in the 2030s and afterwards. I think because of the network effects and the kind of monopolistic effects or oligopolistic effects of the internet, whatever system gets established the next few years will become the system that wins. Just like it's hard to get off Twitter, if everyone stores their, take a simple example, digital art as an NFT, then artists will be making digital art as NFTs in the 2030s. If everyone stores it on, I don't know, Facebook art service, that's what's going to win. We'll find out which one it is over these few years. I think it is, there are things we can do. I don't think it's clear which way it's going to go. In some countries, it is clear that it's going to go on the permission side, right? I guess I should probably state this in reverse. In many countries, they've already decided they're going the permission route. China seems to be building out an end-to-end permission blockchain architecture. And then the question is, if the other countries, if there will be countries that run an open architecture. I hope they do. I think it's going to be better for the world if they do. I don't think it will happen automatically. I don't think it will happen without people, you know, having a discussion about what they think they deserve from as a citizen in a digital world. And I'm hoping we can help stimulate some of that discussion.